challenge is to ski, sail, or cycle, canoe and run 4,136 miles over 5 months. And each element of the challenge will be 1,664 kilometres. And the aim will be to support the Royal Marines Charitable Trust Fund and hopefully raise £500,000 for our wounded servicemen.
The challenge will begin on the 14th of February 2014 in the far north of Norway. From 400 kilometres inside the Arctic Circle, the Royal Marines will ski south to the town of Stavanger. They'll cross some of the most inhospitable terrain Europe has to offer, in temperatures that can reach as low as minus 40 degrees Celsius.
We're anticipating skiing 30 to 40 kilometres a day, depending on the terrain and the weather. That equates to about a marathon a day on skis. We expect whiteout conditions where you can't see the hand in front of your face, which makes navigation really difficult. The mountainous terrain and the changing weather conditions could cause avalanches, so you have to be aware of that. But Royal Marines have been training in the Arctic conditions for over 30 years.
Stage 2 will see the Marines board a Joint Services Challenger 67 yacht, which will set off across the North Sea, through the English Channel and around the coasts of France and Spain. The men expect to be at sea for 40 consecutive days before arriving at the Spanish port of Cadiz.
Maintaining fitness on board the yacht for 40 days is going to be really hard. One of the guys has come up with an idea of getting a bike and fitting it into the yacht somehow so that each day guys can get on that bike and keep a level of fitness so they're ready for the next phase of the challenge.
Finally back on solid ground, our Marines trade their yacht for bikes at the start of Stage 3. They will then cycle all the way to northern Spain, over the Pyrenees and up into France. They'll then continue heading north to the port of Cherbourg on the Normandy coast.
We're going to have to save our legs on the first phase of the cycle because after about 400 kilometres in, it's going to be a pretty arduous 2 days over the Pyrenees mountains before we can get back into the flat of France and up to the English Channel.
The penultimate stage may be the shortest, but it's certainly one of the most challenging too. From Cherbourg, the Marines will canoe all the way across the English Channel to Poole in Dorset.
We've got to try and get these kleppers and these sea kayaks across 80 miles of channel, which could actually be a lot more, maybe up to 150 miles in a 48-hour period. And that is going to involve battling the tides, dodging the ships going through the channel, and indeed the weather conditions are going to be the biggest concerns.
The fifth and final phase of the 1664 challenge will start right here at the Royal Marines Museum in Portsmouth. The team will run a total of 1,664 kilometres around England and Scotland, passing through various towns and cities, averaging 28 kilometres a day for 58 consecutive days.
The run is the first opportunity to involve the whole core family in the Royal Marines 1664 challenge. And each of the commander units and the reserve units around the UK will be involved in the run. 30 Commando will do the Royal Marines 30-miler across Dartmoor. And that is going to be an epic challenge in itself. In Scotland, 4-5 Commando will take the challenge down to Edinburgh, the Royal Marines Reserve across to Glasgow, and then 4-3 Commando will do 3 of the major peaks in Scotland, finishing at Speen Bridge, a very famous Commando memorial. The Royal Marines Association and all retired Royal Marines have an opportunity to take part in this run. Everybody can get involved, and that's the beauty of the challenge.
Finally, on the 25th of July, the Marines will top 5 incredibly gruelling months with a 48-kilometre run across London. Starting at the Cutty Sark, they'll pass by some of the capital's most famous landmarks before finishing within the grounds of the Honourable Artillery Company, the birthplace of the Royal Marines. They will then join together with Marines from other nations and march through the streets of the city. A truly fitting way to celebrate 350 years of exceptional service by the Royal Marines.
This is going to be a really tough challenge. 5 months, 4,136 miles, and potentially up to 2,000 Marines taking part. Fitness is going to be absolutely key. But I think one of the most important things is the humour. One of the tenets of a Royal Marines Commando is cheerfulness in the face of adversity. And whatever challenge Royal Marine undertakes, it's that humour that will drive us on and enable us to complete this 1664 challenge.